All right, folks, coming to you just a bit late. Thought we had all of our gear up and ready to go and had to do some quick swapping, but we've got two down here early in the top of the first, but Boston Calder, if you didn't catch it, I know we went live just before his hit, but deep left field, just one hop to the fence, a nice stand-up double for Boston Calder. Line drive up the middle. This is going to be good. For an RBI double. So a strong start here for MacNSeitz in top of the first. A couple of competitive at-bats, in particular with Alex Kilman leading off there. Now up at the plate is going to be number 5, Brooks Carr. So, guys, we are playing in the Missouri Western Showdown today, playing out at Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas. Kind of making our way around the KC Metro, and this is far enough outside you can't really consider it part of that KC Metro. But a good little jaunt out here and a beautiful little town. We were able to make it here quite a little bit before the game. Stopped, got lunch at a local eatery. Little Polish place. I'd love to tell you the name of it, but I'd just chop it all up. But a lot of friendly folks and some great food. So if you are staying in Atchison through the duration of our tournament, I'd recommend you get out there and shop some of those small businesses. Pass ball right there, and MacNSeitz will advance over to third. That one just missing. Now even up the count at 2-2. We've got 2 out. Base runner creeping down that third base line. And a swing and miss. That'll do it for MacNSeitz here in the first, but not before we do put 1 up on the board. So again, I did say that we had a quick kind of start here to the game. I thought we had a little bit more time, and then we had some technical difficulties, but I did not get a chance to get you guys that starting lineup for MacNSeitz today, and I'll just go ahead and quickly review that here a little bit behind the 8 ball. But leading off for us was Alex Kilman, followed by Cooper Harvoth. Hitting in that 3-hole was Boston Townsend. He had that double that got some things kind of going for us. Zane Valdez followed Boston Calder. He had a double and an RBI, and that brought up Brooks Carr, and he went down on strikes, finishing out things for the first inning. Leading off next inning is going to be Tucker Lee, followed by Cooper McCowan, Harrison Perkins, Miles Vaughn, and Anthony Sutcliffe. Right now you're going to see us as the MacNSeitz has taken the field. Defensively, we were going to have for you up there on the bump for us starting off is Zane Valdez. He's been one of the more consistent guys, really pounding the zone, has good velocity, good changeup, and I tell you what, he's been an exciting pitcher for us to watch this season. Working behind the dish is Boston Calder, and then starting out there at third is Cooper Harvoth. At short is going to be Alex Kilman, and then second base is Harrison Perkins, and then over there at first is Brooks Carr. Out there in right field is Anthony Sutcliffe. Let me get my I had them set out, and and I tell you what, I need these probably more and more every day. But let's take a look. Yeah, that is Anthony Sutcliffe in right field. And then Tucker Lee in center, and then Cooper McCowan out there in third. So I did not get a lineup from Engaged Athletics. That is who we are facing. They have about 3 teams here at that 15U. Starts off first pitch, and that's going to be good for a single.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Townsend joining into the broadcast a little late. I'm filming like always, so I missed the beginning of the game there. But happy to be here again.
Well, not a bad start. MacNSeitz putting one up on the board, and getting on there early is always kind of a key for us, kind of giving us and helping set a tempo, I think.
Like the early attack. Boston fakes the runner back there. So we got, looks like we have Horsley is the batter for Engaged Athletics there.
So looking relaxed in the box as he steps in. Of course, Valdez working from the stretch. And being a big lefty like that, he's had a couple of pickoffs this season. Does a good job of not bringing that knee across the rubber when he's working from the stretch and a runner on first. So missing with a couple of balls to start. Oh, great looking off speed right there.
Right down the middle there. No opportunity to get any call but a strike there.
No doubt. And it looked to me like Engaged Athletics was definitely on the take until he got that first strike.
Yep.
Well, that pitch count got away from us, and we got a walk right there. So 2 batters, and now we got 2 base runners, nobody down.
So we were all around the zone on that one. Boston signaling that he missed the pick, being able to pick that ball up off the bottom of the zone. That should have been a strike, and he was saying that was his fault that time.
And a first pitch strike for Valdez.
And the batter for Engaged Athletics is Briggs, is number 12 in the box there.
Well, we sat here and we were able to watch quite a bit of this this last game. And Engaged Athletics was up against a St. Louis team. Pretty competitive matchup, really interesting kind of watching one of the innings, which ended up being a really big inning for Engaged Athletics. I mean, they laid down, I think, 6 bunts in a row.
Yeah, there were 6 attempted, I think, and there were 4 successful in that amount of time. It was amazing.
And a pitching change in that mix. Little pop up here. Harrison Perkins tracks that one down, and that'll be our first out.
So Briggs flies out. Still got runners at first and second with 1 away.
So Engaged Athletics, a Kansas City Metro team out there in Riverside. And a nice hard hit ball. Tucker Lee flubs it out there in center field, and 1 run will come across.
So that's a long line drive RBI single for the batter McVeigh.
So nice piece of hitting right up the middle and over the infield. And Lee coming up, I think he was looking for a big throw to try to save that run coming home, and ball came off the glove and did not get that glove down. But fortunately, the ball did not roll away too far, and so only 1 run comes across, but that ties up our matchup here.
Hitter now is Schnoblin.
Boy, you get around some of these names, and they can be pretty tough when you haven't had the opportunity to see them before.
Yeah, I'm going I got no phonetic key here. I'm just winging it. Runner goes.
And a hit by pitch. So that'll load the bases, now just 1 down. So maybe not the worst thing that could have happened for MacNSeitz in this particular situation. Now we've got a force out everywhere, and maybe an opportunity to roll 2.
And we have a field ump that can help to make the call this time around, which will be nice.
Yeah, home plate umpire in that last game working on his own, and man, a tough spot to be in, as you have to be in a lot of, like, physically be in a couple of different places to make the best call possible.
So let's see here. Can you see the feed?
Fly ball, this one left side. It's going to be over Cooper McCowan's head. That is a couple of bounces over to the fence. That's at 360. 1 run comes across, another run coming in. Oh, it looks like they're going to, that is a 2 RBI triple.
Yes,
I'm sorry, a 3 RBI triple. He cleans the bases with the exception of himself. Thank you.
So quickly makes it. That should be what, 4 runs already, I think.
Yeah, I've got 4-1 right now.
I believe that's correct.
And that is what our scoreboard is showing, so that's good. Valdez starts off with another first pitch strike right there. Tell you what, finding the zone early and finding it often has not been any problems, but Valdez does have 2 strikes on the batter. And just missing right there for a 1-2 count. So engaged, having a strong first inning right here, putting the ball in play. A couple of those walks really kind of coming back to bite us a bit.
Yeah. The zone seems pretty tight back there.
And that's one of those things that oftentimes you'll see if you got a fresh home plate umpire, they can start out a little bit tight and then kind of try to widen out. But this is the same guy that just umpired the last game. Once again, he had to umpire that whole game on his own, did not have a partner, so good to have another base umpire out there to help him out. Full count.
This swing and a miss for strike 3.
So Valdez with his first strikeout of the day.
So that sits down to Reynolds for MacNSeitz, and it brings up, looks like, was that number 92 we got here? I'll let you know his name as soon as I got it.
92, that's kind of one of those unusual numbers right there.
Yeah.
You're starting to see in baseball a little bit more often these days than you used to. It's kind of a football number.
Yeah, I think, but guys like Judge taking, the last number you got. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Well, a big number and a big athlete up there in the box. Engage Athletics with a runner on third. Nice block by Calder there, saving a run. One of those things that it kind of came into play quite a bit in that last tournament with having a really shallow backstop. We do not have that here. Ball in play. This is just a little dribbler.
Not hit hard.
But a foul ball called. So that one went off the
batter, I guess, huh?
The foot or the leg. And so everyone will reset, and the count now?
2-2.
2-2.
So Quick is spread out in the box there, looking to cover a lot of ground. Ball dribbles away from Boston, but no runner.
I tell you what, you get on these big college athletic fields, and what a great opportunity for all the young athletes playing this weekend, playing on college fields, feeling the difference in the depth, the distance in between positions, in particular in outfield. And Valdez with another strikeout. That'll do it for MacNSeitz here or Engage Athletics rather, in the bottom of the first. Wow. So always a little unsettling and hard to bring you guys a great broadcast with some good play-by-play when we're kind of starting behind the power curve there. But Engage having a great first half inning and a couple of walks coming back to really bite us, and a couple of nice hits as well. And it looked like Valdez really kind of started to settle in there towards the end with a couple of strikeouts.
Right, those were a couple of really well-hit singles, and then that triple is the one that did all the damage. But like you said, a lot of that gets chalked up to the runners on the base there. We put too many up there for them to capitalize on in that inning. We got Tucker Lee, then Cooper McCown, and then Harrison Perkins are 1, 2, 3 this inning.
So quite a few shakeups in the lineup this weekend, and I think what you're going to see here is we've had a number of injuries kind of rearing their ugly heads a bit. Brooks Carr still kind of shut down on the throwing side of things, and he's stepping in and kind of being game for us and playing some first base, but that's because we've got a lot of other guys out. Miles Vaughn completely shut down on the throwing side as well. We've also got Parker Simons, who's been struggling with some arm pain here this season, and I tell you what, he's played a ton of different positions. Great athlete, and just a shame to see him struggling with some of that arm pain. Anthony Sutcliffe, notably in the lineup, and also of course batting, but playing out there in right field. He's had quite a bit of shoulder pain, but a little bit of an impingement there, and he's kind of working through a lot of that, and I think he's feeling quite a little bit better. So number of different guys, Sebastian Wingrove not able to make it out this weekend, and so MacNSeitz with a 14-man roster at the start of the season. Looks like we're playing with, I think, maybe 10 this weekend. So that's number 27 stepping into the box, Tucker Lee.
Takes ball 1 low.
Yeah, it starts off with a little off speed, and that kind of tells you about the confidence the pitcher has in that off speed.
Comes back with something fast, but still misses the zone. Another one upstairs.
So 3 pitches, 3 balls, and Tucker Lee with a significant advantage right now, standing at the plate.
Like the patience he's showing here in this at-bat. That is old school baseball right there, the 3-0 strike that is a gift. Anything near the zone gets called. As we had Zane threw 3 pitches in a row in that spot, and they were a ball every single time.
Ball in play, this one over to short. He gloves that, and Lee hustles down, but not in time, so that'll be 1 out for MacNSeitz. That brings up number 44, Cooper McCowan, as Perkins will be waiting on deck. So a couple lefties back-to-back here. MacNSeitz has played in quite a bit of heat here the past 2 weekends running, with gameplay starting on Wednesday and running through Sundays. This ball in play, kind of a little bit of a dribbler, and McCowan made it close, but that is 2 batters and 2 outs.
I think the hang time there hurt him a little bit there. He got down the line real quick, though.
Yeah, he has a real good first step. Yeah, when he gets going, his top line speed's definitely pretty good. I would have to agree with you, though. You don't want to see any kind of hop, because that just kind of slows you down. But now up number 7, Harrison Perkins.
We got to see his speed last week on that in the Parker that he got credit for. Rightly so. He burned his way around the base path on that one.
100%.
Ball misses up.
And so kind of interesting to see. We've got a pitch who's kind of struggled to kind of really find that zone, but he ends up with 2 ground balls here to start. If we can be just a little bit more patient, but he did a good job battling back on Lee, starting out 3-0, and I think, to your point, I really think he was gifted that fourth ball as a strike, but credit to him, he battled back and was able to come up with a couple of ground balls.
The zone is pretty tight, pretty consistent for both teams outside of that 3-0 count right now so far. You know, like the low part of the zone, not super active, not a lot of room on the upper part of the zone so far from this ump. Left to right's pretty hard to tell from our vantage point, but that one definitely looked like it missed in the upper part there as well.
Well, I can't say I like how vocal he's been. He does a good job, and once contact is had too, as the umpire, he's moving to the proper spots to be able to make the best call possible, give himself that best viewpoint or vantage to be able to make a good call.
Called strike. It's Miles Vaughn in the box here.
And so far, Engage Athletics catcher's quick, untested, but he gets that chance now. Good throw, but a nice slide. I think Perkins got a pretty good jump on that, and he'll be up on second safe.
A little bit of pressure goes a long way, right? Like, I think that's everything was perfect for that steal attempt for us, went our way.
You bet, and I think you have to test him out, right? And you got a good base runner with some good top line speed. You got to test it out and see where things are, see if any kind of mistakes, and what can we force as far as the gameplay goes.
And Miles has got a good bat. He can see the ball pretty deep and deliver it to the outfield. So it's a good chance to potentially pick up another RBI here if we get a man in scoring position like that.
Well, and here in the last inning, and MacNSeitz was able to come up with a run with 2 outs. That's the same situation we're in right now with a runner on second. As Vaughn is awarded time. And he'll step out of the box and kind of reset. But definitely some warm gameplay. But I tell you what, today is so much more enjoyable than maybe what we've had here in the in the past many games.
It's humid out here, so it's not oppressively hot, but the humidity is keeping everything kind of sitting right at that ground level out here. So the breeze is quite nice, actually. It's funny, it reminds me, the temperature, this reminds me like of summers in upstate New York right here, the temperature up here and the humidity, because there's so much more foliage down here, or out here rather than there is by a lot of where we're playing. We've got.
So runners go.
Sailed over.
Oh, and a throwing error. Oh my goodness, 2 throw.
Miles is going. Miles is going. Let's see here. Play at the plate. Will miss. Miles Vaughn.
Well, Perkins with a great jump stealing third. Looked like it was going to be kind of a double steal type of situation. And Vaughn, who's not necessarily the speedster, the catch held onto the ball long enough. He thought he had a good opportunity out there at second and sails it, and then it got past that center fielder. And so both runners able to make their way across the plate. Now we got just a 1-run game.
That's right. So we're sitting right now with, I think, a 1-1 count. That would make it a 1-2 count, I believe. If I'm paying attention here, I think that's 1-2 right now with 2 away.
So that is number 31, Anthony Sutcliffe at the plate. Starting to get back into that healthy position and be able to come in here and have an opportunity to make an impact. Nice little hit right there. That's going to be a tough play. Oh, and he legs it out. How about that?
Good hustle down the line. The first baseman's effort to make that catch pulled his foot off the bag, says the field ump.
And that'll bring us back to the top of the order, and now number 4, Alex Kilman at the plate. So here in just the second inning, and we've had those games where, gosh, we've had guys kind of go down 1, 2, 3 and multiple innings, and guys just not getting into the good flow of the game. And here in the second inning, already getting back to the top of the order, seeing multiple at-bats, that's how you can get some offense kind of rolling.
And again, doing a lot of the hard work with 2 away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big hack there from AK.
Yeah, kind of chased that one up high just a bit, but gosh, he's been seeing the ball so well lately.
Really has.
And just I mean, a couple of beautiful hits here in this past tournament.
He stymied me a couple of times because he gets in the box and the first pitch, he's got a triple or a double right off the bat, and I don't even get a chance to get my cameras going.
Runner goes. This is Sutcliffe. And they got him. So Sutcliffe gunned down out there at second. But MacNSeitz chipping away here at that 4-1 lead. Now 3-4 contest in favor of Engaged Athletics.
Now we just want to turn on that defense here and hold them. Buy back some of those runs next time we get a chance here.
Absolutely, and Kilman will have the opportunity to come back up to the plate. And obviously MacNSeitz looking to hold Engaged Athletics here in bottom of the second.
Yeah, and that way I think it's a good chance, all right? It's a good risk to send the runner there. You come back the next inning, you got your 1, 2, 3 hitter right back at the top of the lineup again. Another good chance to do some damage or to at least set the stage for some damage to be done.
And no doubt, and I think that was quick working behind the plate for Engaged Athletics. You know, big, strong guy, obviously a cannon for an arm, and he was able to show that off there against Sutcliffe. But with that error happening again, why not continue to force the play? And to your point, the worst thing that's going to happen is, you know, they're able to gun them down, and then we're back up 1, 2, 3. So,
yep.
No worries there. But, well, folks, once again, thanks for joining us here on the MacNSeitz 15U YouTube channel. We're excited to see some good play out here, and we've got a doubleheader coming up for you. Playing against Fox Sports coming up next right after this matchup.
I gotta say, this might be my favorite setup so far this season. We are right on the wall. We've got the shade up. Thanks again to Robert and Delana for making sure we got all the shade we need. But we got good views of the field. We got shade and cover and everything, and good internet signal. But everything's kind of nice right here. This is a nice view.
Well, it really is a beautiful facility. I mean, just walking over the hill and getting a great view of that beautiful football field and this beautiful baseball and softball diamonds out here. Really great for Benedictine to be able to host us.
Yeah, first pitch strike.
Yeah, see, and there we go. Gets him chasing one down in the turf right there. And I had the feeling like Valdez just looked like he was kind of starting to really kind of dial it in there towards the end with a couple of strikeouts and starting off strong here with 2 strikes.
So number 11, Timmons holds up on that one. That was a great pitch there, too. Had his hip triggered, but he did not fire. Makes the count 1-2.
Well, Engage Athletics showing some good energy here in their last matchup as they had to mount a comeback to ultimately come. I think they came out on top, right?
Yes. Yeah. They ended up winning by 3 runs, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a close ball game all the way. We walked up and it was 6-6, fouled back. And then they ended up having a big inning where they scored another 6 runs, or another 5 runs rather, I think. And then, long ball, home run, turned the tide of that game almost right there at the end.
You bet. And all of them up pretty much up on the fence right now in their dugout as they cheer on their teammate.
So 2-2 to Timmons.
Little pop-up right side. Looks like Brooks Carr calling for it, and that is out number 1. So just what you're hoping for as a pitcher. You're getting those little pop-ups or those ground outs and easy outs for the defense behind you to be able to make. And
attacking the zone early. It gives you options at the end of your at-bat if you're coming in from ahead.
So another first pitch strike for Valdez.
So this is Blahnik, number 27 for Engaged.
Valdez missing in on that one. He's been working from the windup. Obviously nobody on the base paths right now. And he just really seems he can get into a heck of a good groove when he's up there sometimes.
He's one of those guys that he can locate, and I know Boston likes working with personalities a lot of the time, but he also likes working with the different kinds of technicians that pitchers are, and he enjoys the different way the game goes. And so there are certain guys like Zane that has a very distinct ability to hit the same exact spot 3 or 4 times, and if it gives some flexibility to how they attack a hitter a little bit. Differently than the guy that throws, has a deep 5-6 pitch arsenal or something, like that's fun for different reasons for him.
No doubt. And Engage Athletics doing a good job here, getting the bat on the ball, just battling a few things off and trying to give themselves another opportunity. That's obviously making Valdez go a little bit higher up in the pitch count, even though he's coming up with some of those outs.
Right. Right now, the count is now 2-2. So, just to give you a sense, it's about 7th pitch of the at-bat coming, I think.
Well, a full count now, and definitely a quality AB right there. Looking for Valdez to come up with a little something for MacNSeitz. And another foul ball. Well, wind blowing just right to left across the field right now.
Boston held that one for a good 30 seconds to let him know he missed.
Yeah, a little shake of the head by Valdez, and back up on the bump, ready to continue working. He'll, of course, change to working from the stretch.
So Wright takes a first pitch strike there for the Engaged Athletics.
You bet. And I just kind of heard from somebody out in the crowd saying, hey, that was the same spot as the last pitch. And certainly like what we were talking about, picking those locations and little pop-up right side. Brooks Carr running back for it. It's in foul territory and unable to come up with the ball.
So tough when you got that kind of a route to the ball, that serpentine zigzag out there. Man, tough to figure out where it is.
Well, no doubt, and a ton of spin on that ball as Carr was headed back. He was kind of heading back, and then that ball, and I just said that the wind going, right to left across the field, and that's exactly what happened with the ball. It came just back over that foul line. Deep fly ball, this one center field.
Tuck hauls it in. Runner goes back for the tag, and we're 2 away. So the right flies out to Tucker Lee. That brings in number 28. Let's see, this is Horsley, I believe, is the guy's name. Yeah, there we go. I've got to cheat. I don't have a good enough memory to rely on it, so I'm waiting.
Ball in play. Perkins right there on the spot. Oh, and he makes the long throw.
Misses the out right in front of him there.
So a bit of a conundrum. Maybe he felt like the runner was already going to be there. I thought he could have just had a little toss-up right up to Kilman for that third out, but it elects to go for the throw over to first and a little bit off the mark. So runner will reach on air, and base runner makes his way over to third.
It's a tough situation. You got, you're so in the moment of making the play that you're missing maybe what's right in front of you, or like you said, maybe didn't think he had a shot at it with his momentum.
But had he come up with that throw, that would have been a pretty tremendous play, because that was not an easy throw to make.
Nope.
Coming up off of his knees, off of the turf.
Back-to-back strikes there again. First pitch strike on every batter this inning so far. So this has been a nice way to start every single hitter.
And Boston working laterally, doing a good job getting the glove on the ball. That one quite a bit of ways outside.
He's a little nervous. Catcher's mitt got relaced this week. So he was like, things were too tight when it got back. We've been working it, trying to get it back to game ready, get the pocket reshaped the way he likes it. So he was a little nervous coming in that it wasn't going to be quite right. But it looks like it's all right. It looks like it's set right now.
Ball in play, this one again over to second, and this time Perkins steps on second. So Valdez able to make his way out of that inning with no runs scored. MacNSeitz is able to hold Engaged Athletics, and now just 1 run down.
Again, Zane had another good inning out there on the bump. I feel like he's getting into the ground balls that you need, the weakly hit pop flies. Like you said, the error was the thing that threatened a little bit there in that inning, but in general, it looks so much stronger second inning than the first inning, but didn't look weak the first inning. I mean, it came out good in the first inning, but just improved.
And that's really what you want to see in a starting pitcher. You want to see them just kind of grow in confidence and location throughout the game.
Yeah.
Well, a short audio break here, folks. We'll be back to you as soon as the action commences. And a little flub by me hitting the wrong button. I made Kevin go hot, and I was trying to make myself. But so it looks like Alex Kilman, warm-ups all set for Engage this half inning. And Kilman stepping into the box to lead things off for MacNSeitz. Now top of the third.
All right, now I can be live here. Mid-conversation, you got just a random snippet there.
So Kilman with a big smile on his face, and I like it when I see a guy smile, strike a ball or whatever, but your smile, you're feeling good, and hard hit ball, that's going to get through the infield for a leadoff single.
Starting off attacking early again, I like it.
Yeah, and just as I was saying, you know, when you're smiling, you're having fun, and it's easy to play baseball when you're having fun, enjoying the game itself, and not feeling some of the pressure of certain situations and things like that. Kilman's been playing some good baseball lately.
Well, they always say, man, the beginning of every ball game, they tell you the instruction right away. They tell you play ball every single time. Get in that mind state, right? Good things happen when you're playing. There's different rules when you play than when you work. You know, they say, yeah, well, practices are for working and games are for playing.
Squared away to bunt. Lay that one down. And they got him at first, but Harvoth moves the runner over. Doing a job.
Puts the runner in scoring position for Boston here as he steps into the box. It's nice, well-placed bunt there to get that runner over and get him in position.
Some really good control right there. And I tell you what, that is the tying run represented on second base for Kilman. Boston Townsend with a stand-up double on his last AB.
Takes on the first pitch. He wasn't quite sure about that. I think he wanted it and then laid off. Probably waiting to see. Might want that one back.
I keep meaning to get that Shakira song keyed up, and I was waiting for a big hit by Boston to play that one. Man, I'm missing my opportunities here.
Well, he's quickly in a hole here. 0-2.
Ball in play. This one over to third. Oh! The first baseman actually doesn't catch the ball, but then quickly picks it up with his bare hand and narrowly gets that out. But Calder is able to move that runner over to third. So Zane Valdez with a RBI double in his first at-bat. Has another RBI opportunity right here before him.
You hear the dugout talking, getting in the game, making sure that the runner at third knows that is not your moment.
Well, everybody paying close attention, and that ball just glanced off the glove of Ketch. Another one right up the middle.
And again, small ball pays off, right? Bunt the runner over, drive him in.
Well, that ties up the game, and a second RBI in as many at-bats for Valdez. Courtesy runner over there for him at first. And that'll bring up number 5, Brooks Carr.
Yeah, Zane right now responsible for half the runs in the game so far, driving them in. So good place to be sitting. Here we go, working with 2 outs again here. Brooks just a tad late on that one. Runner on, getting his lead.
Nice glove by Ketch right there. That saves that runner from advancing.
Yeah, we're getting good secondaries, but modest leads off first, which is what you expect. 2 outs here right now, and catcher keeping it in front of him is really going to keep that distance nice and short from our leadoff.
Ball gets away, and runner advances. That's Parker Simons over there, courtesy running.
So that pass ball got some height on it, man. Hit off the plate and maybe about 15 feet up on the netting is where it hit the backstop. So the batter's boxes are spongy back there.
You know, and that's one of the things about playing on turf like this, where you have an entire turf field. And I've seen a couple of deep balls hit today, and when that ball hits, I really thought there were going to be a couple of ground rule doubles.
I did too. It's deceptive. The field's deeper than it looks when you're standing here.
Well hit ball. That's going to get through the infield. Simons rounds third. He's headed in. And an RBI single for Brooks.
Really, really nice piece of hitting there to get that ball into the grass. Long single by Brooks. But really, I mean, really well fielded by Engage, too, to keep him to that single and to really cut him off properly and field that ball right.
They did a great job of lining up their cutoff and picked their spot.
Yeah.
So nice piece of hitting for Brooks Carr right there, and that'll give MacNSeitz a 1-run lead.
It's always good when you're watching good baseball, right? You know, of course you want to win, but we want to win against good baseball. We want to play good baseball.
Hard hit ground ball right to first base, and that'll do it for MacNSeitz here in the third. But not before we're able to take the lead. Quick pause here as we head into bottom of the third.
So this brings up McVeigh for Engaged Athletics. Number 34 steps into the box here.
So that an off speed down in the dirt and the turf. And a hard ground ball handled cleanly by Carr out there at first base for out number one. Forgot I was going to make an adjustment to that backstop camera. We've got a little bit too much of the right side and missing a little bit of third base there. But a good view of the batter's boxes here with a swing and a miss.
Which camera in between? I can run and go fix that.
Yeah, it's just the backstop camera.
Okay.
It just needs to come a little bit more to the left.
Gotcha. I can jump on that in our next break here.
Another one towards first, but this one foul before the base. And that batter will get another opportunity.
So this is the hitter that I'm struggling to pronounce, but I think it's Schnoblin. Something very close to that. It's got a lot of vowels.
Little chopper, this one over to second base. Harrison Perkins
holds the bag for the out. Does a great job there.
Yeah, not the best throw from Perkins, but Perkins really had to glove that ball off the bounce, and he got it really low. Had he not done that, he would have not had the opportunity to make that throw. But Carr did a good job kind of making that stretch, and out number two.
Yeah, keeping that foot glued there. Hobbled, I think, or Hobbled is the hitter right now for Engaged Athletics, number 4. First pitch misses for a ball.
So a couple of Kansas City Metro teams here with MacNSeitz playing out of Martin City, just south of the Kansas City market, and Engaged Athletics. Fly ball center field, and that is out number 3 as MacNSeitz works 1, 2, 3, and bottom of the 3rd. So 1 pitch and 1 out for Engaged Athletics. Now top of the 4th, that was Cooper McCowan at the plate. So a little disappointment on the face of McCowan as he heads back to the dugout. Obviously wanted to have an opportunity to drive the ball. That one just got underneath it. And now number 7, Harrison Perkins at the plate. Little chopper, this one over to short, and that gets right by him. So I think possibly would have been a tough ball for him to field cleanly, as he did a good job of really like attacking the ball, but did not get the bounce he was looking for off that turf. Went right under the glove, and Perkins up safe on first.
And his energy and momentum coming right towards where we're sitting here, which would mean throwing across his body over to first. Might have been a close call with the speed on the base path that Harrison represents there too.
Now number 15, Miles Vaughn at the plate.
Miles free swinging there at first pitch. You can see he wants a hit.
Runner goes, and no throw down. Perkins will make it his way over to second uncontested.
A little defensive indifference there to get that run across, or get that runner over rather. Whoops. I'm already seeing 2 steps ahead here, that run across.
I love the chess game you're playing. A wild pitch. And Perkins makes his way over to third.
Maybe not the smoothest of slides in there, a little hiccup, but he got the job done, man.
Well, you can tell Quick working behind the plate there has got a real good arm. He thought about throwing it, but ended up making the decision not to. And why risk a bad throw and another run? Another pass ball. Perkins is going to make his way.
feels his way around and gets across before Miles gets a chance to get his bat on one there.
So a great job on the base pass by Perkins. That leads to another run.
Way to be a menace, kid.
And I believe, is that 3 wild pitches in a row?
Yeah, maybe one of them you could call a pass ball, but I think you're right.
Yeah, so a little struggle with some control here, but Vaughn now working with a hitter's count.
Right down the middle there, but no reason to be swinging there after the last few pitches. So
yeah, it'd be tough. And missing inside for ball number 4.
Good at bat by Vaughn there. Patient at bat. He came out swinging early, but managed to hold his patience up for the rest of the at bat. Earns his walk.
Well, that'll bring up number 31, Anthony Sutcliffe, as he looks on over to the third base side, taking his sign from Coach Jake Sawyer.
Ball misses wide there.
And so what we've seen is his pitch has been consistently kind of sitting right around that 66, 68 miles an hour, kind of dialing that one back. I think he's trying to find that location.
Popped up and out. Evens the count up.
1-1. Well, waiting on deck now is number 4, Alex Kilman.
Wears that one on the arm protector to put our second runner on, and AK stepping in, feeling pretty good about himself right now.
He certainly is, and our proximity to the player is a little closer than normal. And
I kind of like it.
Kilman definitely kind of feeling it, but Engage Athletics coach saying, hey, number 8 is all done for the day. So there will be a quick pitching change. And we'll take a short audio break while Engage Athletics gets their next pitcher warmed up.
Well, cool. I'll say hi to my wife real quick before, since she's watching from home today, and then we can turn these mics off here and listen to a little music. Here we go. So AK stepping in. Now, in fairness, he called his shot before this pitcher got put in there, but I don't think he's coming in with any less attack because of the pitching change. I think if anything else, he's coming in hungry here.
So just one down, Miles Vaughn out there on second base.
Kilman giving that one a good long look there.
So Sutcliffe over on first, Vaughn on second, and an 0-1 count for Harvath.
AK picking them out here.
Oh, yeah, my mistake there.
Leaves that one up for the birds, as the boys like to shout.
Yeah, and I incorrectly said that Harvath was at the plate, and that's because I got Harvath standing right in front of me.
See, they're not just on the field when they're this close, they're in our brain. Swinging there.
Kilman liking the look of that off speed right there, just missed. And that'll even up the count now, 2-2.
Spreads out, looks to employ that B swing we talk about a lot of the time, that two-strike approach there. Take away some of the extra movement, cover a little bit more of the plate, take away a big leg kick, be ready to drive the ball right up the middle.
And he continues to battle. Kilman with a full count.
Our vocal ump echoes you. That'll walk him full.
So quality at bat right there for Kilman. That'll load the bases for number 1, Cooper Harvath. So in this situation, you got to be thinking as a base runner. You got just one down. Contact, you have to kind of pause and wait if it's in the air. On the ground, of course, you got to go.
Attacking early in the count here. Swing and a miss. Like it. So that levels up the count there, 1-1.
So pitching velocity very, very close to the last pitcher. Definitely saw Engaged throw a couple of bigger arms here in that last matchup.
Yeah. These last two guys have been sitting right around that mid-60s range. Not a lot.
Little pop-up, that should be called an infield fly, and the base umpire does a good job and does call for it.
So that'll bring up Boston Townsend here.
So 2 down for Townsend, and MacNSeitz, who's been living on the edge, scoring a lot of our runs with 2 down. We'll see if MacNSeitz can come up with something good here.
So keep that trend alive. I like it. Teams, when you're attacking with 2 away, you're feeling pretty good.
Well, and this pitcher so far has been living up pretty high. And so not really picking apart those locations just yet. Oh, ball gets away from him. Miles Vaughn doing a running man over there on third base.
That's right. Oh, I just got noticed. Man, I'm cracking up. He's over there.
Man, I wish I would have had a closer camera on that one. Well hit ball. This one left side. It's high in the air. And that is going to be out number 3.
Caught. Well hit. Caught a couple steps in from the warning track, but nicely hit. Maybe a little too under it there.
Yeah, you get just maybe a 1/16 of an inch up on that, and maybe you drive it over. A well-struck ball, and not a bad inning for MacNSeitz, but score still 6-4 in favor of MNS.
See a couple more Townsends just jumped on the feed here. My parents are watching again from upstate, so we're getting, just in time to see that at bat.
Well, good deal. Glad to have you guys join us out here. MacNSeitz playing some good baseball here once again. And Valdez will be the pitcher when action resumes.
right, here we go. Number 16. Oh, I lost my game changer here. I got to pull that back up so I can help you out with the names for the opposing team. Swing and miss. First pitch strike.
So Valdez definitely feeling comfortable up there on the bump. Starts with an off speed right there on pitch number 1.
This is Reynolds is our hitter. Yeah. 2 swinging strikes there, back to back.
And now the batter's had 2 off speed and hasn't quite seen that velocity yet. So should be interesting to see what we come up with here. Goes right back to it. And a beautiful pitch.
Good communication there in the drop third strike. You can hear Boston shouting inside, giving his first baseman clues as to where he wants him to set up to receive that ball.
So a couple of guys working very well together right now. That's Townsend behind the dish. And Valdez up there on the bump. Number 92, Quick, up at the plate. And Valdez brushes him back.
Big athletic player here, so got to imagine we're being careful with our approach to this guy here. Oh, would have been a clean catch had he held on to it. Caught it about, gloved it, I should say, about 3 inches above the turf, but was not able to keep it in there. Don't think he expected to have such a good read on it there.
Well, a hard hit ball, a ton of top spin, and that one going back down towards the turf. Tough to hold on to, but Harbaugh able to keep it right there and then make a throw over, but not in time. And Quick over on first.
So this is Timmons in the box here with Quick, as Robert said, Quick on first there. It's like a little bit of an Abbott and Costello routine here. So we got 1 away. This hitter's working with a 1-0 count right now here for Timmons. Ball gets by.
So runner will make his way over to second uncontested. And now Valdez will work with a 2-0 count.
Talked about it earlier. The turf's fast back there, so for catchers, their body's got to follow their glove. If they miss it with the glove, it's going by. So it means a little extra workout back there for both teams' catchers today.
Beautiful looking off speed right there. So runner on second, modest lead.
2-2.
And the Engage Athletics just kind of looking back towards their coaches like not sure what to do with that off speed at times.
Well, it means he's effectively deploying it, right? That's what we want. Flustered and frustrated. Coach is telling him I need something to drive, and they're like, everything's soft right now.
Well, a good tight spin, and when I sit here and watch Valdez, he's got a great drift as he goes into that back leg and powers that one by him. That's a 75-mile-an-hour ball.
Nice jump there, right? Like that, he's off speed, and then drop the hammer there for that swing and miss.
And as a pitcher, that's what you want. You want to be able to reach back and blow something by somebody when the opportunity presents itself, and Valdez does just that.
Number 27, Blahnik, is in the box now here for Engaged. Free swinging. Strike 1. So this is the fun game of sequencing now. So the last couple of batters have seen things. So now, he's probably gonna throw me a fastball first pitch this time. They're playing that chess game.
Will squib over to third, and Harbaugh elects to tag. The runner making his way over to third.
Calling the runner out of the base path there, trying to avoid the tag for that third and final out. All right.
Well, that takes us to top of the fifth. We'll be back with you here shortly, folks. Once again, as always, thanks for joining us.
back on the mic. Thanks for opening the mic up for me, Robert. I appreciate that.
You bet. That brings us to top of 5.
Zane Valdez stepping in.
So Valdez, so far, enjoying a great day at the plate.
Yeah, 2 hits, 2 RBIs so far. This is we're top of the 5th inning here, entering the 3rd time through our lineup here. So we're doing a nice job turning that lineup today. Nice hit. Up in the air, though. Will fall in for a hit.
So Valdez finds some green space out there in left center field, and he's up for a double.
Excellent. Put the ball in play and let it go where it may, man.
Well, it makes me wonder how much that wind is kind of swirling out there. It looked like the center fielder had a good beat on it at first. He slowed as he kind of approached that point when the ball was coming down, but I think he slowed down just a touch too much, and that ball just glancing. Well, I don't know. Actually, did it hit the glove, or did it just hit the green?
All grass.
Yeah.
Or turf, rather. But, man, 3 for 3. Way to start.
Well, that's number 5, Brooks Carr at the plate.
Brooks with a nice little gapper earlier. Signals bunt, but pulls it back.
So you think we've seen a little bit of small ball that kind of got some things going for us, and then we had some key hits in areas.
Yeah, I think he signaled again. So 2 balls on the 2 pulled back bunt attempts there, tipping his hand a little bit, but hey, it works. If the bunt is laid down perfectly, it doesn't matter if you know it's coming.
Well, corner's in now, expecting that bunt. Carr does not square around for it there, but takes that one for ball 3 on the inside. Four pitches, 4 balls, and Carr with a free one.
So puts runners on at first and second. Nobody away. Brings Tucker Lee into the box for MacNSeitz.
So contact on his first 2 ABs resulted in ground outs. He lays down a bunt right there, but it rolls foul.
Good distance on that bunt. Had the right approach, just a slight wrong bat angle there. Just want that to ride right down that third baseline. Really solid attempt there. Tucker got some speed on the base path too, so there's a good chance we're not looking at a total sack bunt here, that we might be getting a base hit out of the deal as well.
Well, Coach Jake Sawyer gives the sign. Runners on first and second. Squaring around a bunt again, pulls it back.
Catcher looks him back rather than making the throw. Shortstop on the run, shadowing the runner there, begging for the ball, but cooler heads prevailed there.
Well, Simon's kind of getting out there in no man's land, pretty far off the base path. And you can see why Ketch was looking at him so hard, but nothing going there. Now a 2-1 count for Lee.
Dugout loved that pulled back bunt attempt there. Again. So Tuck getting all the way up to the front of that box, getting ready to do what he's got to do there. Pitch walk.
And that bat a little too high in the air for my taste, but he'll make his way over to first, and that'll load the bases.
Brings up Cooper McCowan.
And now Engage Athletics coach wanting to talk to his pitcher. Oh, he asked for the ball, and that'll do it for number 32 today.
So now, if you're the coach, you're not bringing in your velo guy now. Bases loaded. This is not the time unless you really think he's going to blow the doors off our guys. So I got to imagine we're going to have another guy that's got something that breaks or moves or is a little bit off speed, sitting a little softer. I'm guessing right in that same, MPH range that we've been seeing.
Yeah, and you look at that velocity spectrum, and when you start really kind of considering guys that can really locate well, you know, you got to think that Engage probably thinks that just looking at the record that they're a better team than MacNSeitz at this point. Finding themselves down here 2 runs in the 5th inning, and MacNSeitz threatening to put a little bit more up on the board. And it'll be interesting to see who they bring in and exactly what he's able to do. But obviously I think that they're pretty confident in their bats. But I think Valdez has done such a fantastic job up there on the bunt. The defense has been behind him when we've needed it.
We got to reset it. Low 70s. So we are seeing a little quicker. Sorry, on mic there. Player asking a question, and I'm answering. I forgot to mute my mic. Sorry about that, gang. Yeah.
Nope, no problem there, and I'm sure everybody at home kind of want to know as well. And so getting that that pocket radar pitch velocity up there on your screen, and it's been kind of going in and out today. We've been restarting it, but living in that low to kind of mid-70s there.
Yeah, that might be the fastest one he's thrown right there, right around that mid-70 mark. But it's significantly different than what we've seen so far today. We've been seeing stuff right around 70, right around the high 60s from a lot of these other pitchers. Whether they're capable of more or not, their approach has been to keep the velocity low for us.
Yeah. And I tell you what, MacNSeitz is actually a pretty decent fastball hitting team. And so when we've seen the pitchers that come in and they throw straight, we've been able to get out on that ball. And so we're going to be able to see what we're going to do here. But right now, nobody down. Bases loaded.
All their pitchers start high a little bit. They seem to attack the zone on the upper part, and no difference right there. Top part of that zone is where they are targeting. So.
And a dead ball right there. Cooper McCowan will make his way over to first, and that will bring one home.
Walks the run in. Hits the elbow guard. It's tough for the ump if you're not seeing what's going on there to know if that's a foul ball, a foul tip, or an elbow guard. The plastic is a much higher pitch, though, than the bat. I mean, it's a different – there's no resonance to it.
Well, that'll bring up number 7, Harrison Perkins. And he takes that first pitch for a strike.
So that part of the zone, so this pitcher coming in a little hotter than some of the other guys is getting the upper part of that zone. When previous pitchers were throwing the off-speed stuff at the top of the zone, not getting the call. But his fastballs up top are definitely a little bit more in play for the ump this time around. He's still sitting right in that sort of 73 to 74 range.
Perkins fouls that one out of play, and that'll put him down to the count now 1-2. You got to think too. I mean, as a ball player, when you get up in this situation, you got nobody down, bases loaded. You want to either deep fly ball to kind of get that sac fly, or you want to get something maybe over here to the right side of the field and get that run home.
Yep. Yeah, I think a lot of what I got to hear a lot of the off-season training, and I know they spent a lot of time and attention working to that right side in this situation. And unless you got the guy that's got that dead pull power, go the other way with it.
Absolutely. And that is the direction that Perkins had fouled that one off. So I think he's looking there. He's seeing the right things.
Hanging tough in this at bat. Another one misses upstairs.
So another walk and another run for MacNSeitz.
Absolutely what we want to see here. That top part of the zone's tough to catch up to when you got a guy that's throwing a little faster. So it makes sense that he's throwing there, right? It's hard to catch up to if you don't have your timing right. But it's also you miss and you end up walking some guys. It's sort of what we fell victim to in the first inning. That's how we ended up stacking some guys on the base paths, missing that upper part of the zone.
Well, and like a lot of big arms, a lot of times guys try to throw through it. When they start to struggle a little bit up there on the hill, and they're trying to go back to what their base and their root is, and that is to try to use that big arm. And sometimes that can just really work against you.
Miles right on that one, fouls it back into the mitt. Another one fouled straight back there. Miles dialed in there.
Well, Sutcliffe looks on from the on-deck circle. And Vaughn goes down swinging.
Yeah. It's the first out of the inning for Engaged. Still got the bases loaded here with one away.
Well, that'll bring up Anthony Sutcliffe. And I think he had a pretty quality AB on his last AB.
Yeah, he definitely did. Exercising some patience here. The first pitch misses up by his hands. And that one's outside there, looked like, from this angle. So this is where it's real key for our guys not to start expanding the zone, to really focus on the pitches they want to drive here. We got only one away. We got 3 runners on. 2 of them easy scoring distance for something that's well hit here.
And back-to-back walks, now a 3-0 count. You got to think Sutcliffe's got to be on the take.
Yeah, Coach, I'm sure, has got a straight take here.
And he misses again. So Engage Athletics made a pitching change to bring this young man in, and you got to think, man, they're looking at who else they've got. And when you've got a whole weekend worth of baseball to play, you're looking at how many arms. We saw, I think they had 4 guys throw in the last game, at least 4 guys that I remember. And so now you're looking at the rest of your weekend as well.
Yeah, not a lot of them super high pitch counts though, right? They weren't using them up, so they're leaving a lot of room with those guys. But definitely cycling through arms. Because we've seen, 2/3 of their team at this point between sitting through the first game and now this one.
Right. And there's something about, going in and pitching 1 or 2 innings in the game prior and then having to warm back up and then come back in that next following game. And that's something that you don't typically like to do.
Yeah, that's real tough on a player, because your muscles, anybody that's worked out understands your muscles get engorged, they get tight, it's hard to get them back loose again.
Well, and he finds his own there for a strike. Now Kilman working on a 2-1 count.
So AK ready to attack here when the ball's there. Can't hold up that swing.
I think he liked it at first, wanted to hold up and couldn't quite.
But again, that smile, man, that's that mental attitude, the mental part of that game, keeping you in this at-bat here is what we need.
Ball in play. This one down the third base line. He goes home for out number 1 and then falls over his own helmet as he was looking at trying to throw it over to first for a double play.
Yep. Good heads-up play there. The ball weakly, hit hard into the ground, resulting in a weak roll to the third baseman. But good hustle there to get to that ball and make that play at home. Would have liked to see that run cross, but really good baseball being played by Engaged there on that play.
Absolutely, and in that situation, what you're going to see is those corners will often play in, and middle infield playing that double play depth. That's exactly where Engaged was at, and they did a good job there.
First pitch strike gets away from the pitcher on the throw back there a little bit. Nothing comes of that though.
Well, that's number 1, Cooper Harvoth at the plate.
2 away, and the base is still loaded. Fouled back and out of play.
So Harvoth quickly down now 0-2. And Engaged looking to try and stop the bleeding. Boston Townsend looking on from the on-deck circle.
Stepping in, getting his intel here. First time for the top of the lineup seeing this new pitcher here. A little different look than the last guy, right? So Cooper showing a good fight here in this at-bat.
Absolutely. Swinging, getting that bat on the ball, and if you can just do that over and over again until you get the one that you're really looking to drive. When you got 2 down on you, you got to just foul that sucker off and give yourself another chance. And he does it right there. Line drive right up the middle. That's going to bring 1 home. That's going to bring 2. And 2 RBI single.
Excellent job there. Way to stay in that at bat. Front fit, kids.
So a fantastic job for Cooper Harvoth right there. That'll stretch this one out, add 2 more to the
And another pitching change there.
Yeah, and Engage Athletics have seen enough, and they go to another arm. Well, that's an 11-4 contest right now, I think, folks, and MacNSeitz actually doing a good job getting some run production going. We're going to go on a quick break here as their pitcher warms up.
Thank you.
Well, still here in top of the 5th.
Let's get my microphone back out from my microphone was hiding under my beard there.
Now with the plate, Boston Townsend takes that first pitch for ball number 1.
Looking to put that, as we were talking about earlier, he's trying to really put that down the right side there to get a couple more runs in here. Got under that one.
High fly ball, second baseman looking for it. He's able to bring that in, and that'll do it for MacNSeitz in top of the 5th. But not before a few extra go on the board, and now an 11-4 contest. MacNSeitz in control, need to get through the next 3 innings.
Yes, sir. That result is exactly why they brought this kind of a pitcher in here. That's what our guys are going to have a tendency to do after coming off the little bit more velo guy. So now we got some chance to regroup and get back in there with a different head for the next inning.
Absolutely. It looks like MacNSeitz will still stick with Valdez, and we'll be back with you once the action continues. All right, and Valdez with a good book of work in today so far. 69 pitches, 44 of them strikes. So some great efficiency right there.
Amazing. Love that.
And starts off this bottom of the fifth with a first pitch strike.
Attacking that zone. The confidence is fantastic right now. Like you said, you know you're living in and around the zone there when you're a strike count like that. Thought he might get a take there, and it looked like he might.
He definitely got the hips turning right there. Thought about it, was able to hold off. That'll even up the count now, 1-1. MacNSeitz looking the same way defensively behind Valdez.
So this is their leadoff hitter for Engaged Athletics. This is number 6. Name is Wright. Sitting now with 2 strikes on him and 1 ball.
So Engaged has to be feeling pretty good about being at the top of their order. They've got some heavy lifting to do if they're going to get back in this one.
And they also have got to know at this point that Zane has been pitching the whole game. So, you know, this is the time when a coach might say, hey, rack up that count. Let's get him out. Let's get a different guy that we can work with.
Little pop fly, and that goes over to Harrison Perkins for out number 1.
Should bring up number 28, Horsley, for Engaged Athletics here.
So Valdez continuing to get those looks that he's wanting, those little tiny pop flies. I don't know how many of those we've seen today, but it's been maybe a small handful, and then of course some ground balls. But he's had a number of strikeouts as well.
Horsley with a walk and a hit earlier on in the game. Takes first pitch ball there.
Yeah, so Valdez 4 strikeouts on the day. Ooh, and ramps that one up a little bit.
Yep, gigantic leg kick there from the hitter. Kept him way off time there, but was able to get the bat in to foul it off. Definitely was anticipating something a little different than what he got. One misses up.
So Valdez wiping the sweat off the brow. I know we're pretty warm right here, but another good 5 to 10 degrees warmer out in the sun, and then also on top of that turf.
Yeah.
You could tell that Townsend really kind of wanted that one, held the glove right there. Obviously the ball glanced off of the glove, but held the glove right there just to show the umpire exactly where that one was at.
That'll put a runner on here. So it's his second walk of the day for Horsley. So typically that, your leadoff guy, your number 2 guy, you want to see high on-base percentage like that. And looks like Horsley proves to be that guy that's got the discipline for them there. Ended up on base on walks twice so far this game.
Definitely that on-base percentage, and those guys that have those high percentages, you're going to see in that top half of the lineup very often. And definitely working those pitchers, and to your point, working that pitch count.
This is Briggs here. Briggs is 0 for 2 so far.
Well hit ball, but far, far right out of play. And quiet out here at the ball field. It's Atchison, kind of like not necessarily like a rural community, but a great little downtown basis and stuff like that. But the ball field is just beautifully situated. And a well-hit ball. This one gets through the infield on the right side.
We talk about this a lot, right? He's attacking that right side. Everything about that at-bat told you what he was wanting to do with that ball. The big foul ball down the right side, and then this hard-hit ball in the gap on the right side to move that runner over. Effectively replacing the bunt with that kind of a hit-and-run play.
You bet. Sutcliffe cleaning that ball up out there in right field and makes a nice throw over to third to prevent any type of stretch run there for an advancement on the runners.
This is McVeigh. He's sitting with 1 hit and 1 RBI right now. Fouled off right side to the opposing team's dugout there.
Yeah, that one, right off the end of the bat. And Valdez finding that pretty often here with a lot of his off speed.
Ball is kept in front of the catcher. Counts 1-1, one out, 2 on.
So looking at that situation, you're down. It's 11-4. You've got just 1 down. You're probably not going to, try to really risk any type of base running and things like that because you got a lot of heavy lifting to do.
Yep.
And so far up to this point, with Valdez doing so well on the bump, really Townsend's kind of been untested, and so they're even unsure about just how well Townsend can get that ball down.
That is 100% true. They always say you don't want to make your first or last out at third, but in this case, you don't want to make their second one over there. And the message that we suspected the coach had delivered to the team seems to be bearing out here, because even stuff that's around the zone, we're seeing a lot of patience from their hitters. Now, that last pitch, up and out, not as telling.
Ball in play. This one over to second base.
Turn 2.
MacNSeitz with an opportunity to roll 2. Not able to get it, but they do get that lead runner out at second base.
So that's 2 away. Runners on the corners now. And it looks like, are we making the change, or are we just having the conversation here?
So Coach Jake Sawyer approaching the mound, talking with his infield and talking with his pitcher. It's interesting, as we've gone through a number of tournaments here in the past several weeks, and we've had a number of these games where MacNSeitz has actually played ball. I think we've got maybe a bigger lead than maybe what we've seen in these same or similar situations and whatnot, but we've brought in a different pitcher and maybe met with some negative results, at times, and it makes me wonder, like, hey, are we going to, if we do make a change at some point here in the coming game, which obviously it looks like we're not making a change right now, but do we bring in one of the maybe more consistent pitchers and stuff like that, looking to close one out and get a W on the board, or are we going to try to see how far we can get with maybe a mid-range type of arm?
Right. I got to think you want the win for the boys here, especially if you can get somebody that can be efficient and get out without throwing a whole ton of pitches, maybe save them for a bracket day, something like that. I think that's where my head would be if I'm coaching at that point. But, coaches got a little bit more intel than we've got and maybe thinking something slightly different. Changing the timing here on a fly ball.
Little pop-up left side. Harbaugh working his way over to the fence, but out of play.
So puts him in a hitter in a hole. This is Schnoblin here that is looks like reached on error earlier. Hack and pop up middle.
Harbaugh going to handle it, and that is good for out number 3. So a quick mound visit and then a quick out to follow that will take us to top of 6. MacNSeitz playing some ball. As Bobby Witt would say, boys are playing some ball.
Love it.
All right, well, a quick break here, folks. We'll return when the action does.
That's candy. Its taste is on my mind.
So Zane stepping into the box, looking to stay hot. He's had a hell of a day out there on the bump, and he's looking to continue his attack at the plate here too.
Well, honestly, right now, nobody better to lead off for MacNSeitz this inning.
You hear guys say that a lot, right? Nobody better, and just trying to let their peers know this is your moment, this is your spot.
Well, 2 pitches, 2 strikes, and a serious contrast in style of pitching styles. Little chopper, this one over to second base, and that'll be out number 1.
That'll bring in Brooks.
Well, a hit or no, Valdez definitely having a day at the ball field. Number 5, Brooks Carr stepping up, and number 27, Tucker Lee, waiting on deck.
This is where I turn back to my roots, watching a bunch of Boston baseball, and Dennis Eckersley would call the pitch mix from this particular pitcher a soft salad.
Well, I tell you what, when you look at the difference in contrast of styles, like guys are stepping into the box in the same spot that they usually do. Pop fly, this one maybe in the danger zone, finds some grass, and Brooks up with a single.
That's it, conservatively run. I mean, he's got down that baseline, but was not looking to turn that corner or put himself in any danger of getting caught out there if the ball landed.
Well, this is one of those situations where I remember playing ball back here in this particular age bracket, and the coach is telling you, move up in the box.
Yeah.
Move up in the box, try to catch that ball, out ahead of where this pitcher is used to taking that breaking ball,
yep,
right?
100%.
And then that breaking ball is coming across you at shoulder level rather than coming in and hitting at belt level.
Yeah, you take the curve out of the curveball when you can do that, right? Like, if most of its drop is in that last 1.5 to 2 feet, you get out there, you're catching it just as it's dipping into the zone instead of by the time it's at your ankle.
Well, nobody's made that adjustment just yet. Now Tucker Lee working on a 1-2 count.
Humps it up a little bit more there, but pocket radar not reading, and so just looked like maybe I don't know if the pitch actually sped up, but he sped his body up a little bit for that one. Still didn't look like anything too punishing. Sitting at a 3-1 count here with a runner on first and 1 away. Opportunity for Tuck to move that.
Hard hit ball, right side. That's going to get down for a single.
Runner. I like it. If I say it, it seems to happen. Let's see here. So here's another opportunity to get 2 runners in scoring position here, potentially get a run in if it's hit deep enough.
Well, that'll bring up number 44, Cooper McCowan.
Difference in the strike zone between Cooper and Tuck here. Which I don't think I would notice quite so much if I'm not staring at grid lines on a camera here and understanding. This is maybe the best angle I've had because I can see that strike zone and I've got the crosshairs on the camera, understanding where that ball is coming into frame in a different way. I feel like just get a big old monitor here, plug this guy into an HDMI, and we could have that side view for all of us.
Well, I tell you what, we'll just keep increasing our production.
There we go. I think between the two of us, we've got enough equipment here that we can deploy.
And McCowan wears that one on the hip.
I'm going to take a little bit of a bruise on the lower back there, but he'll take the base in exchange for that.
Now that loads the bases, still just 1 down, and that brings up number 7, Harrison Perkins.
So strategy's unchanged here. Again, that right side is going to be active. That ball down that right line is going to bring that runner in safely with no chance at a throw. Harrison not able to hold up on that one.
Well, Engaged Athletics have the corners in, middle infield at double play depth. Obviously hoping for a ground ball and an opportunity at a double play. Or maybe as they've done in prior inning, is maybe throwing home and saving that run.
Yeah. Got to imagine that's what they're, in any case, you've described the thoughts that are in their head, right? Like these are their best options. So MacNSeitz showing good discipline in their at-bats right now, making Engaged, bring it down into the zone, give them something to hit. Fouled up and out of play.
You know what I don't see a lot here at this level is really understanding and comprehending that infield fly rule, right? And so if we end up with an infield fly opportunity, if you're reading that right, the runners are able to advance at their own risk, and you don't have to tag up anything of that nature, right? It's an automatic, and the batter is automatically out.
Yep. Third strike looking for Harrison. Yeah, and you're exactly right there.
And so, just understanding that baseball IQ that everyone talks about so much and understanding what that situation is. Obviously, that situation no longer valid because we've got 2 down.
Miles Vaughn step into the plate.
See, and Miles does. Look at that. He stepped and inched forward in the box. Pass ball.
Guiding his runner in.
And Brooks Carr able to advance.
Miles Vaughn playing the role of air traffic controller out there, making sure to guide his guy in. So Miles was on the last guy that was throwing a little bit more, about 10 miles an hour faster than this guy is on average. So like you said, he's scooted up in the plate to try to make that contact where he wants rather than to, sort of be deep in the box and struggling at something that's breaking out of his range.
Well, and tough for a pitcher to make that adjustment too, because when you're practicing in between games, you're practicing throwing through your catcher. Mm-hmm. And so when you get a guy that steps all the way up in the box, but you've been practicing your ball hitting that catcher's mitt, which is another 2 feet back.
Yep. Yeah, it meant, again, it's another little mental hurdle to get over, right? You see these guys that in warm-ups are throwing fantastic batter steps in there, and they're erratic, right? Like just the presence sometimes in the visual field can make the pitcher have a slightly different delivery.
So Vaughn seeing one that he likes, fouls that one down the right side. Even up the count, or is that, no, that's a full count now.
Working full here. Again, seeing a lot of pitches in this at-bat, doing his job. Fighting to get to his pitch here.
And Vaughn down on swings. But MacNSeitz does add one more run to the mix. That'll take us to bottom of the 6th.
I love the pitcher-catcher communication. I mean, I definitely know what I'm watching for, but you're going to see really few warm-up pitches right about now.
Absolutely, and that makes all the sense in the world. And you talk about all those warm-up pitches in between innings, everything that you did before the game, and that pitch count really kind of spiking up.
Yep. Team's loving it right now. I mean, you love seeing the team giving Zane love out there, letting him know that they know, they see him, they know what he's doing for him right now, and they know what he's doing for them by being out on that bump right now. That's the other thing, right? They know he's deep. They know he's thrown a lot, and that he's out there. Again, psychological just as much as to keep dealing. He's out there, and these guys have got to come into the batter's box going, oh, it's still him?
100%. And, that's got to be creeping back into their minds. Hey, now I'm 0 for 2, I'm 0 for 3. And now they're stepping back into the box, and it's the same guy up there still throwing roughly right at about that same velocity that he's been throwing most of the game.
I did see him say that he was only going to take 2 or 3 warm-up pitches. He's thrown 1 so far. So, and I heard Boston call 2 more. So we might get 3 warm-up pitches out of him. Really trying to preserve that arm.
Well, a lot of rain overnight and then here into the early morning. And, that the clouds have finally started to make their way out of the area. The sun is shining. and starting to warm up or whatever. These boys have played some baseball. You see a little bit of sweat on just about everybody out there.
Yep, and this shade has been doing its job for quite a while, but now it's starting to hold some of that heat underneath it a little bit. So this is Hobbled, number 4 for Engaged Athletics, stepping into the box here. He's got 1 hit on the day so far, but he's got 3 RBIs on that hit.
Yeah, that triple clearing the bases was a big one for them to start there early in the game. Or was that that was
first
inning. Yeah.
That was where they did their damage. They really have not done any damage since that first inning.
That one right down that third base line, but on the foul side.
Hard ground ball.
Well, Valdez keeping them guessing there with off speeds left and right. And Humboldt really doing a good job, I think, sitting on that back leg and not getting out front. Missing a close one right there. That'll make it now a 3-1 count.
Yep, again, I think patience is the word of the day for these hitters. Swing and miss there. Nice job.
Well, a good second behind that pitch. Big swing. And now full count.
But ends up putting him on anyway. So his first walk of the game there. That should bring up another big hitter. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. This is Reynolds, then Quick.
And now Coach Jake Sawyer making that pitching change. So it looks like they're going to bring in Harrison Perkins up there on the bump, bringing in Parker Simons to play second base. Valdez with a heck of a game right there, as the crowd all gives him a round of applause.
Today he was that guy.
He certainly was a fantastic game, and obviously when you look up at the scoreboard and you see all those zeros up there, you know somebody was doing something right up there on the mound. And you know, credit where credit's due, the defense in those moments when we've needed it have come up with those pop flies that Zane was able to kind of deal out there.
Yeah, I got it. And now the name of the game is throw strikes. Let your defense work, right? We've got the lead. We can suffer a little bit, but what we can't suffer is a bunch of walks here. So what we need to know is we got your back, Harrison. Teammates got to let them know we'll make that play behind you. You fill it up, and we'll clean it up.
Well, pitching to contact definitely kind of a big thing right here, and you very much would rather pitch to contact. Let a couple of balls fall down if they do, but give that defense an opportunity to get behind you and take care of what needs to be done.
Getting a notification that Atchison, Kansas, where we are currently situated, is now under a tornado watch until 11 p.m. tonight.
Well, I saw it come through for Shawnee here maybe about 45 minutes ago, and I meant to say something to her, but I looked around and she wasn't there, and that's because she's run out to try to find a couple of snacks for tucked between the games. Well, I know Perkins on his last outing, not a great showing for him. Definitely has the ability to get in there and do some really good things up on the bump. Anybody that's been a pitcher at any point in the past, we've all had those days. And what you hope is that isn't the type of outing that's going to sit in the back of your mind and then come to rear its ugly head once again.
Yep.
And so I'm very curious to see how Harrison will respond. He's coming in what I feel like is a pretty big moment. We've got 2 more innings that we've got to get through, and honestly, really maybe not 2 innings, depending on how much longer this lasts. Because at the top of the inning, I heard the umpire say 26 minutes left in game time.
Yeah. So this could, with the pitching change and everything else, this could do it. Missing up there, but not by much. So just above the zone.
Well, and I think you said it early. He has a little bit of a tighter strike zone, and it seems like any of the pitching changes that have come in, they've kind of struggled early.
There we go, right there.
Nice looking pitch right there.
Yeah, if we can live there, we're going to be all right. Our outfield might get a little bit of work, but that's what they're there for.
That one just glancing off the glove. Boston Townsend makes a big throw down.
Letting him know he's still there. The ball might have got away, but keeping it close despite the fact that that ball got maybe a good 15 feet away from home plate there.
Well, and we've talked about that in the past, right? Making that throw, it shows engaged. Listen, I do have an arm. I believe in it, and I'm accurate with it, and I'm going to use it. You give me the chance.
Yeah, it is. So much of it's performance, right? You got to do this thing, and especially throwdowns to second are one of those things. Back picks to first sometimes for a team that's getting hungry out there with their leads off first. Just to let them know that it's in the back pocket there. So we're 3-1 right now.
So Perkins, of course, working from the stretch. We have a runner on second. And finds a nice fastball right there. And that one coming in 68 miles an hour.
Nice velocity for him coming in cold like this and just getting worked up, getting ready to go.
That one down in the turf, so he'll get a free one, and that'll put runners on first and second. No additional harm done right there, and honestly, it doesn't put MacNSeitz in a bad situation because now we have that force out at third base and all the bases.
We do have number 92 Quick stepping in, bigger guy. So the potential for him to drive this ball is also quite high here. So this is one of those moments where there might be a damage potential here that we need to manage. So I still would like to see some stuff in the zone. But again, psychologically, if you're Harrison out there, you got to be a little bit nervous. You see a dude stepping in looking like this guy here.
Well, and I'm sitting here trying to remember what his stance looked like earlier in the game, but I'm looking at his stance in the box right now, and I'm talking about Quick for Engaged Athletics in the box, and I'm telling you what, that is a wide stance.
Yeah.
One of those things that, in times where I've worked with Tuck, and we call it the Rendon, where you're not taking a step, right?
Yes.
Maybe you just pick up that front foot and put it back down, but oftentimes not even doing that, just firing with the hip and really trying to turn on it.
Yeah, that no stride can be really effective to get you out of a slump too, right? You take away the moving pieces. Sometimes that foot movement is a timing thing. And when the timing's weird, you don't need to use your old cues.
Ooh, and a close miss right there, missing down low just a bit. That's not going to be one that Perkins is going to like being called the ball all day.
No, this is right now similar situation to Perkins found himself in last time, where starts filling some bases up there, swing and a miss there. So if he can keep his head about him and keep dealing right to that, right in the zone there, he's going to be all right.
So back-to-back batters, ends up with the full count. Let's see what Perkins comes up with right here. And that one comes in just a bit high. That'll load the bases. So nobody down, and a couple walks for Perkins. And Boston steps out to just have a quick chat with Perkins. Perkins had a long stare back to the dugout. And not really wanting to engage or have any kind of a dialogue with Townsend. Every guy is so different, right? When it comes to the game and their mental capacity, some guys, they just really want to internalize it. They want to work through it and on their own. And other guys, oftentimes, needing a little bit of encouragement and knowing that the guys have faith in them. Maybe Perkins on that former side.
You said it before, too, and the catcher kind of, for the most part, and most teams sort of takes that role of field general, right? And so he's trying to control a little bit of that emotion or a little bit of that thing and trying to figure out how to help his guy out there. What does he need? At the end, I heard him, say, just throw the ball. Like, keep it simple. Take things away.
Ball in play. This one over to short, and MacNSeitz unable to come up with the the out right there. So Kilman going to his right, pretty deep, not the strongest arm that you're going to see on the field, but makes a throw over. That was a one-hopper to the first baseman. And Brooks, who does play first base but hasn't played a lot of first base this season, unable to come up with the that one down in the turf.
And they put their first run across since the first. One catches the top of the zone there.
But I think on a positive side, I think the good thing that I saw was that Perkins came up with a strike.
Yes.
Right? And so in that count, coming up, putting it across the plate and getting that ground ball, that should have been an out for MacNSeitz, wasn't. And, but good for Perkins to kind of dial it back in and say, yep, you know what, I got what it takes.
Yep, and now working from ahead on this hitter here. Challenge is nobody's out yet, so he's got a lot of work still ahead of him no matter what the situation. Bases are loaded here. And so there's outs everywhere.
Yeah, a situation where you're like, man, I'd love to just see a hard hit ball to short, maybe second base, and opportunity to roll too.
Got to imagine, yeah, something driven into the ground here. Even a short hopper would be fine.
And that's exactly what we get, but this one kind of in a tough spot, and another infield single for Engage Athletics.
So Harrison pitching to contact exactly the same location. We just got to get our infield charge in that ball a little different. First step forward instead of backwards on those balls that are not hit quite as hard as they might think off the bat. And I think we got some playmakers ready to happen there.
Well, I definitely think that, when you look at a lot of these guys are in positions that they didn't necessarily play during their high school season. Kilman over there at short, Harvoth at third, and then Simons over there at second base. Positions these guys oftentimes have not played a ton. Although we've seen Harvoth and certainly Kilman over there. I don't know if we've seen Simons at second, but if you're going to play super deep in that short position, you really want to see a lot of hard charges right off of contact. And, at third base, oftentimes you're playing even with the base. You got a Harvoth with a good 2-3 steps back off that baseline. And so I think positionally when you're that coach, trying to direct those guys and stuff like that. But these guys are looking for double play opportunities, and that's what I see by the depth and their position on the field.
Yep. And that's, quite honestly, that's what we were narrowly missing in the last couple of plays here. We got a ball that's hit maybe not quite as hard as we needed to be able to turn two, but definitely in the right velocity range to be able to get an out there in those two ground ball situations.
You bet. And a quick conference right there between pitch and catch. And Perkins with 3 pitches and 3 balls. Really need to come up with something there. Imagine bases loaded, a couple of runs across the plate here in this half inning. Engage is going to be on the take.
They are, and another run's in.
And now Coach Jake Sawyer out to talk with his pitcher. So I was just getting ready to say, I wondered just how much room he was going to give him. But he asked for the ball, and it does look like we're going to make a pitching change now to Reed Satterwhite.
Yep.
Not exactly who I thought we were going to go to.
Not angry about that, though. I mean, Reed is able to get some good quality pitches in the zone there. It's a lot better situation for Reed to be coming in now before he's caught a game, right? So his arm's fresh. He's not had to be out there in the hot heat behind the plate wearing all that gear and doing a bunch of throwbacks to the pitcher. So, I mean, if you're going to bring Reed in, I really like bringing him in this situation.
Well, I think you make some really strong points there, and being fresh is always, the best, most optimal position that you can be in coming into any game in a pivotal kind of role. I think when you talk about a position player who doesn't do a lot of pitching, that's one of those things where it's like, man, is this the best situation? Because, once again, we're talking about MacNSeitz really needing to come up with that dub. And so when you look at this, we're in a 5-tool tournament right now. This is the Missouri Western Showdown. And looking at pool play and the way that it's all racked up, so Engaged Athletics beat Fox Sports, who we're going up against next. And so if we're able to take down Engaged, and then we play Fox Sports next, if we win both of those games, we win our pool.
Yes.
Right, and then that puts us into a position in bracket play that we've not been in this summer season. And so I feel like this is a pretty important role, and this is where as a coach, you're looking at all of the different scenarios. You're looking at the different arms. How far can we go? We look like we have this game in control. We just need a couple more outs.
Yes, sir. And we need the runs to stay close because on top of the win, right, we're trying to preserve the win here, but we also want the run differential to be favorable. We don't want to give up a bunch of runs because that also hurts our seeding when we do make it to the bracket later on. You know, we want to be sitting in a spot where we have a little bit more control over where we land.
Well, Satterwhite now up. He'll work from a modified – starts off with the first pitch strike. I was getting ready to say a modified windup, but no, he just kind of has a really open stance from the stride before he becomes set.
Yep, definitely a big change here, right? 10-mile-an-hour bump from the in the range.
Well hit ball. This one gets through the infield. Cooper McCowan scoops it and throws in. 1 run will come across the plate.
So this is where now we need more of those to be a little bit more in the air, a little bit more on the ground, right? The line drive is the one thing we want to try to avoid right now because that's the one that's going to score those runs unless we got a guy there.
Pass ball, I don't know if that's a pass ball or a wild pitch, but it's so hard off that backstop. It rolls back and saves the run.
I got to be honest, I didn't see where it hit in the batter's box to know how to score that one. Coach did not want Boston to make the throw there. Boston wasn't going to make the throw, but wanted them to believe he was going to.
Little chopper, this one over to short.
First out. So the second throw maybe a little unnecessary there. Runner already at the bag, so I could hear Jake over there, Jake Sawyer, being a little bit like, let's keep it a little clean there, guys. You know, we don't need to throw that there.
So another run for Engage, and now a 12-9 affair. MacNSeitz with 1 down there, and you could tell Parker Simons, who's been having a forearm issue, makes that throw over to first and kind of winces in pain. I thought maybe we wouldn't see him out in the field, but maybe out at the plate in a DH or EH type of situation. But we're running thin on the roster right now.
Yeah.
So that's runners on the corners now. 1-0 count.
Wouldn't have been surprised to see him at first this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Runner goes, and he'll have to make his way back over to first as the batter fouls that one back.
Makes the count even, 1 out.
So kind of that steady wind that we had earlier. Nice little breeze going. Now I look to the outfield and the scoreboard, and that flag sitting down straight. Fly ball, this one center field.
A lot of
big
time.
Throw coming.
He's running. No play. We'll make it a 2-run game, but 2 away now.
Well, you tell Tucker Lee out there in center really wanted that throw to not be cut off, but he doesn't have that advantage that we have in the position where we were at. I thought it was a good cut.
Agreed.
And Reed taking that ball because I don't think there was going to be anything positive, and it keeps that runner over at first.
That's the name of the game. That's we always talked about that no doubles defense, right? When that situation, you want nobody ending up on second base.
So this one fouled.
Again, gives Reed a chance to work from ahead here.
Now 12-10. MacNSeitz still in the lead, doing everything they can to hang on to it. A 6-run inning so far for Engaged.
This is this is where I'm grateful we got a good lead ahead of time, because the this damage inning here was looming.
One more, boys, one more.
This inning has taken, for sure, more than 20 minutes here, so I got to imagine our game time has elapsed. I've already gotten the notification. I mean,
So did I.
that the game should have been over and wrapped up and summaries given.
Fly ball, this one left side, it's deep.
Foul ball. Almost took the table out trying to see where that was going. Cooper running that ball down there and got a good jump on it, but it was well foul out there.
Come on, Satterwhite.
That puts him in an 0-2 hole here with 2 away, so he's going to be defending everything right now.
Good looking curveball right there. I think that may be missing outside. And really a great shape on the pitch. And those are the types of things that you love to throw. You got a guy down 0-2. He's got to protect.
So that one didn't quite move the way it was supposed to.
Well, Satterwhite doing such a good job at complimenting Townsend behind the dish there. And those two guys working back and forth and trading games very often. That's definitely where he's had the biggest impact for us. But a big one right here. Single gets down. No further harm. And runners on first and second.
Nothing hurt, Satterwhite.
But I thought Satterwhite, I think, was it down in Fayetteville? Maybe he gave us a couple of pretty good innings. I can't recall if it was Fayetteville or if it was over at Creekside, but
Yeah, I can't remember. But he did have a couple of good. Yeah, you're right. I think the last one at Creekside was not as good as the first time out. I think is what had happened. Got a hip trigger on that pitch there, but no swing for strike one. Thank you. Ball into the outfield there, but close. The runner can't make his way away from the bag, stays glued.
down center field playing deep right there, and he had a lot of ground to cover.
So 1 strike, 2 out. Misses the bottom part of the zone there for 1-1 count.
Well, the broadcast booth here receiving some much-needed water for all this hard work we're doing.
Super grateful for that support there. I brought water, but I've already burned through it here.
You know, one of the things I like about seeing, you know, when catchers do make it up there on the bump, and we've talked about this so much in the last tournament, because we saw both of our catchers having to make their way up there and trying to just help their team out with an inning or two. But one of the things that I like seeing about getting a catcher up there is that they are so mentally strong. And some of the more mentally strong players out there on the field. And a nice strike right there, that 2-2 count. Boston Townsend with what I thought was going to be a back pick down there over at first. He had an opportunity. I don't know if Brooks Carr was quite ready for it.
Listening to his coach, he was called off of it.
Yep, oh yeah.
Strike 3 just thrown, calling a ball.
And definitely a near miss right there. That'll make it a full count. And this is a big moment right here. You got 2 runners on, you got 2 down. Engaged Athletics just 2 behind. Strike 3 call.
Rings him up.
And Satterwhite closing it out for MacNSeitz right there. That is going to do it for this game, folks, as the game time did expire. What a great piece of ball playing right there. And MacNSeitz able to hold on there at the very end as Engage Athletics, and hats off to them, make a late push with a 6-run, 6th inning. And, gosh, when you see great ball like that being played, I hate it when time limits come down to it. It is part of the game and part of tournament play, but we'll wish them luck in the rest of their endeavors in this tournament. And MacNSeitz will be coming up again here in the very, very near future. I'd say about 15 minutes, I think, is what we were told.
I got to imagine they're going to tight turn them, especially with the weather warnings they got going on here. They want us, before the air temperature has a chance to drop, and which sort of expedites some of that formation that's happening in the upper atmosphere right now.
Well, I tell you what, MacNSeitz coming up with a much-needed win, and how exciting is that? We are going to be up again here shortly, so folks, we're actually going to go off air, and then we'll be back with you when the Fox Sports Sox comes up next.
Dr. Seuss team.
Man, I tell you what,
we're going to have trouble with that one, aren't we?
That's a tongue twister. I think we're going to stick with Sox. Thanks again for joining us, folks. Make sure you drop a like and drop a comment if you can. Make sure you're reaching out to your favorite player and giving them the encouragement. These guys are working so hard in between games to improve their game, and we're having a ton of fun out here watching them play.
Yeah, and whether you're friends or family or you're one of the players on the team, thanks for watching this. We have a lot of fun doing it. I certainly am grateful every chance I get to sit in this chair.
All right, back.